Welcome back to season 2 of The Brand New Actor. I'm your host, Deanna Gamboa, and today you are listening to season 2, episode 2, Resumes. And I know what you're thinking, resumes? I know how to craft my own resume. It's not a big deal. Resumes are one of those overlooked elements in an actor's toolkit, right? But they matter so much more than you think. Think about it. When you go to an audition room, typically for a theater audition, they request your headshot and your resume. So your headshot is your first impression. So that's got to be perfect. And if you need some tips on perfecting your headshot, making sure that it's aligned with your brand and the acting market that you're going for, please tune back to episode 1 of this season, in which I sit down with photographer Lynn Parks. She is amazing and will give you so much insight on how to do that. But let's just say that you have the perfect headshot. That was your first impression. Then there's your resume, which is your second impression. So it better be darn good. And if you know how to craft your resume, you could actually spark a conversation right there in the audition room, just based on how it's presented. So today we're going to break down how to craft a strong, personalized, brand-aligned resume to help support you and your actor journey. Let's get into it. Why resumes matter. First things first. Resumes seem to be like a list of everything you've done, but in actuality, it's a quick snapshot of all of your training, experience, and even mention of people that you've worked with. I've been in so many audition rooms in which casting directors are literally reading my resume as I'm doing my audition and following up with questions about projects that I've worked on, people that I've worked with, teachers that I have listed on my section of like education. Yeah, I actually do that. I have on my section of education, I have all the classes that I've taken at New World School of the Arts, where I got my Bachelor in Fine Arts. And I include those teachers because I know that they are professional working actors and creatives and professionals here in Miami. Hence, I know that it could be a conversation starter. I cannot tell you how many times, though, recently this has happened. I was in an audition and someone asked me, oh, so your teacher was Stuart Meltzer, or your teacher was Jim Randolph, or you worked with Stephen Kaiser. I know those people. And that helps casting to draw a connection to you. And not only that, but set you up for a recommendation. So just a side note, make sure that you have a good rapport with the people that you have on your resume. It's very important because you wouldn't want them to badmouth you to this casting person and then you don't get the job. And I've even been asked about specific projects I've worked on. So I was in an audition recently and the person was trying to pinpoint where they've seen me. They're like, I know I've seen you in some type of show. I don't know which show. They look at my resume. They're like, oh, I saw this show, Bob Marley's Three Little Birds with City Theater. That's probably where I recognize you from. Did you work with so-and-so? And I'm like, I don't know who so-and-so is. I was like, the musical director was this person. And I was trying to think back. It was summer of 2022. So another side note, remember who you work with, your cast members, your musical directors, your directors. Be sure to, stay connected with them because you never know. Your resume is there to set up a conversation and a connection. Let's talk design. So this is in corporate America. You're not going to go in with a black and white, boring resume. You're not trying to get a job at the office. You're trying to book in the industry. It needs to be professional, of course, but it could have a little personality. It could have a little color and uniqueness to show your brand. And I'm not saying to have neon fonts and rainbows or anything, but it does mean have color. Color that aligns with your brand. If you don't know what colors to add or implement to your resume, maybe look at your headshot. What color shirt are you wearing? Could you possibly implement that color to your resume? For instance, I was wearing a dark blue shirt, sort of like the background here, and I added like a light blue to a section of my resume in which I have on the side my special skills and other information. And it looks really good. It's very clean, but it's a little different, right? Another thing is to have clean, legible font. Like I said, doesn't need to be Times New Roman. If it is, sure, fine, that's great. But have a little fun with your font. Of course, it still needs to be legible, but how can you express your character type through your font? Are you more playful? Are you more edgy? Maybe you go with Century Gothic. You know, like just have a little fun with it while still making sure that it looks professional, of course. Another tip that I totally recommend, and if you're not doing it, please do it. Add a small headshot on the corner of your resume. So typically, you are to bring one headshot, which is typically your character headshot, mostly for theater or film. And then you have the other headshot in which you're smiling with all of your teeth, right? And typically we categorize that as your commercial headshot. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, please be sure to tune into Season 2, Episode 1, in which I sat down with photographer Lynn Parks to talk about crafting the perfect headshot according to your brand and acting market. And she talks all about this, so do that if you haven't already. But either way, it's such a good idea because you're providing casting such a contrast. You have this character-like headshot and then a friendly smile. You get the best of both worlds by doing that. Like I said, design matters, first impressions count, even on paper. And if you're not very design inclined, you're not the best at doing that, I recommend using a tool like Canva. You can find so many modern templates specifically for actors, so be sure to do that. And then you could just implement all your information and not worry about the rest. I remember how different headshots and resumes were in the past. I started at 7 years old, so mind you, my headshot and resume has evolved. And as it should, because you have to keep on top of the different trends and things. I mean, back then, headshots were black and white, then color, and I even had something called like a comp card, which I'm pretty sure models use more nowadays than actors. But then again, I feel like with digitals, actors are going back to this kind of concept. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, again, go tune into that first episode because we talk all about it. But pretty much I had like a comp card. In the front was like my main headshot, and then in the back there were like 4 different other headshot looks, like digitals. That's what we know them as nowadays, digitals. Like full body pictures in different things. Like I was wearing a dress in one and then like a bikini in the other, etc. So that was very big back then. They also would require in like both those headshot cards and also in my resume, I was required to provide like physical description characteristics. Like on the top, it would be like my name and my union status or whatever. And then I would have like eye color, hair color, height, weight. And I have to say, it's still kind of relevant because when you do commercial work, you're required to give measurements all the time. So it's good to just have it right on your resume. And so, yeah, a lot has evolved in terms of like how the design has become from like more in black and white, because that's really what the resumes were, just black and white, you know, normal MLA format, really. exactly. And I have seen so many resumes that are so vibrant with color and design and uniqueness. They're more inviting. So let's go with that. Get into the nitty gritty, the content of your actor resume. I'm gonna try to break it down, the different sections. And again, you can format it however you like, but this is just suggestions that I'm giving. So on the top header, most importantly, I think everyone should do this, put your name, your full name, or if you have a stage name. I've been considering putting my stage name. I'm considering going from Deanna Gamboa to Deanna Nicole. I don't know, it just has a nice ring to it. Let me know what you guys think. But other than that, you put your name and then your union status. If you're union, non-union, a part of SAG-AFTRA, etc., etc., etc. If you're non-union, just put non-union. That's fine. And then contact information, your email, your phone number, ways that they can contact you. That's kind of important, right? I remember I used to put my address. I don't do that anymore. It's kind of weird, in my opinion. But maybe a casting director wants to know where you're based. So do things as needed in your resume. Social media handles. It is so vital that you put your social media nowadays. It is 2025. You can have your portfolio with reels and images all online, and you can connect them right to it. You want them to see your reels that are on your YouTube. Connect them directly to your website. I mean, I'm like paying for that every month. Might as well go there and see what I'm up to, you know? And Instagram or Facebook. I don't really give my Facebook. I do Instagram mostly. Facebook's for my family, friends, you know? Instagram is where I try to use it to my benefit to market myself as an actor. That's all up to you, how you want to do that. But definitely add your Instagram, YouTube, website. Then, as I mentioned before, physical details. Some basic ones that you can include: your height, your weight, your eye color, your hair color, the length of your hair. Add as many physical details as you want or don't want. It's helpful. And again, it really depends on what you're auditioning for. Maybe for one audition you don't need it, so you don't include it. Go editing your resume. We'll talk a little more about that later. Now that you're done with your top header, I know that was just the top header. Here we go. Work experience. So there's different sections. And it's really up to you how you want to divide the sections. So I would say theater, film, TV, commercial, voiceover are different sections that you can use. I think it's really up to how much credentials you have in which you can break it down into more sections. For instance, theater. Like, I have theater and musical theater and children's theater in my resume because I just have so many credits that I'm like, might as well differentiate them. And because I'm such a big theater person and I love theater, I have divided them into those sections. Whereas film and TV, I don't have that many credits, so I actually bunched those sections together. And for commercial, which I don't know if you know this was a little tip that someone gave me. If you've done commercials, don't list them in your resume. Just have a separate list of all of your commercials for you and for your agent. Why? Well, I was told that you don't want to list your commercials because it could cause brand conflicts and it'll cost you opportunities. So what does that mean? For instance, if you worked with, I don't know, Home Depot, actually did a Home Depot commercial this January. And I don't know, Lowe's has an audition and they want to cast me, but they saw that I did Home Depot, and to them that's like a big conflict. It's probably better to just have it on a list so it doesn't jeopardize you getting the job. In some occasions, it still will, but it might not. So just avoid that by just having a separate list in case. And in terms of when you get to the certain sections, like for instance, theater, how I do it is I put theater as like the main header, and then the second tiers after that, I put the name of the show. In the middle, I put the role that I had, the name of the role, and then you can put the company or the director. Back then we used to put the date. I'm not a fan of that. I don't need you to know how long ago I did Romeo and Juliet. I want you to know that I was Juliet. I don't want you to know how long ago that was, And yeah, sometimes it's like, tisk, that's a high school credit. Don't use that. But it's like, I haven't done like a main Shakespearean role in a long time, and I want to keep it on my resume. So until you start accumulating more and more things on your resume, start letting go, obviously, of those really old credits as needed. For film and TV, on the other hand, the way that I format it is I have like the project title, the name of whether it's a film or a TV show, and then the role type. So whether you were a lead, a supporting, or a principal role. And another thing that's like kind of frowned upon is like you were an extra, like don't like include it. Again, don't have a lot of credits at this point. So I'm going to include that I was an extra or I was a stand-in because experience is experience. And until I start making it bigger in the film and TV industry, those are not going away. And then I end with like the director of the project or production company. And then the next section is education and training. You can put here schools, programs. If you have a degree, by all means, put that in there. I have that I attended New World School of the Arts. I have a Bachelor in Fine Arts, musical theater. I listed all like the classes that I took, from like vocal lessons to dance and acting, stage combat, because that's just like a special skill, etc. So I listed all those classes and the names of the teachers that taught those classes, because like I said earlier, there are names on there of teachers that are working here professionally in Miami, and I want to be able to start a conversation with casting based on a mutual connection. Another thing is, let's say you haven't been to school, you don't have that much experience, you can add master classes, intensives. I have intensives there. I think I did like a dance workshop with someone that was in the cast of Hamilton. And I learned the choreography to the room where it happened. So yeah, that's on my resume. And some other guy from On Your Feet, that's on my resume. This is very important when you don't have a lot of credits. Special skills section is next. This is the fun section, So just have fun with it. But generally, I have my vocal range since I'm a singer, my dance skills, different types of styles of dance that I do, different accents or dialects that I can do. No? Okay. Musical instruments. Sorry, I don't play any musical instruments, just my voice. But if you play a musical instrument, you should put it there. And other things like different sports, like I played volleyball. I can ice skate. I can skate. Or I can swim in a pool. I can dive. I can do this. I can tumble. I know how to speak in another language. I'm bilingual, Spanish and English. stage combat, etc. Like, list all of these things. They're very important. Even a driver's license is a special skill somehow. Yeah, list all of the special skills that you can think of. Because, especially in commercial, I feel like this would be very helpful because they're always doing like lifestyle commercials here in Miami. And so it's good to know that you can swim or skate or play pickleball. Oh my goodness, the craze with pickleball. If you know how to play pickleball, put that in your resume. I've gotten so many castings recently for pickleball, and I'm like, I haven't even played. I know how to play tennis. Close enough, right? And that should be pretty much the culmination of all the different sections. Now, something that I suggest is creating multiple versions of your resume. A lot of times when we go to an interview for a job that's not in the industry, like a waiter, a teacher, etc. I don't know, because I've never been to any other like job interview that's not having any relation to arts. So I'm not very like well versed in this, but for the most part, I hear that people create like a cover letter and they really do target their resume to get a specific job. But for whatever reason, when it comes to like this industry, we're like, here's all my work experience, here's all my training, here, hope this works. It's like, whatever. But let me tell you, you actually should tailor your resume based on the job that you're going for. How can you do this? Well, for starters, if you are auditioning for a company, specifically a theater company, and they are auditioning for a musical, and you have enough musical theater credits, and you have enough theater credits, I would suggest putting at the top of your resume musical theater, and then putting all your musical theater credits, and then putting theater underneath that. And film and TV, they don't even care. They don't care. It's there, but they don't really care about all that. Because what they're focused on is knowing that you can be in a musical. So show them that you have experience in that first. Or if you're going for a film role, the same thing. I would flip the resume. So again, you can have different variations of the same resume. It's possible. You should highlight the most relevant experience first. All right, this next section is for my newbies. Let's say you have no experience. Don't panic. Everyone starts somewhere. If you're just starting out, list any training you've done, any classes, workshops, intensives, anything, really, any experience that you have. Add student films that you've been a part of, or school productions if you need to include those high school productions until, again, you start accumulating the credits. And then you could start dropping those older credits. Show any type of commitment to the craft. That's what people want to see, just to get a start. And if you don't have any of these credits, then yes, you do need to at least go to a class, get some type of training in which you can put something on your resume. Now, putting all of this together, how does one craft a resume? Step by step. Here we go. First, take a piece of paper and pencil. List all of your credits and training. Don't even think about dividing them into sections yet. Just write it down. Just have it all written down. And then, step 2, you're gonna look at that and start thinking, okay, how can I divide this into sections? And this is based on how many credits you have. So if you have a lot of theater credits, could you have enough credits to split it up? Musical theater, children's theater, regular theater? Or do you need to keep theater in one section because you don't have enough credits yet? Then go with that. And then if you have a section like film and TV, but you don't have enough credits, could you put them together? That's what I did. because I don't have enough credits yet. And then add any training, special skills, education section. Just start thinking about how you want to organize and format it. Then look at other actors' resumes. See people that you admire. Copy them. Borrow their format. And then use a tool like Canva in which you can create your own resume. Try to keep it clean, one page only, and update it regularly. So your resume is your story on paper. Make it clear, make it personal, make it consistent, make it you. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be professional, honest, and aligned with where you're headed and your brand. Thanks for tuning in to the Brand New Actor podcast. If you found this episode helpful, share it with an actor friend and connect with me on Instagram at the Brand New Actor. You can tune in to this episode on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And now, I know it's been a little bit of a break after our March episode. I was super busy performing in one show and rehearsing for another, but I'm back and I'm so excited for what's ahead. I've got some amazing guests that I'm thinking of bringing to the show to build your actor toolkit, from voiceover reels to picking the right monologues and song cuts for auditions, and so much more. And if you're looking for more personalized help, I'll soon be offering some one-on-one coaching for brand new actors, or actors that really just need to refine their business approach, and who want support with their resume, their reels, branding, and getting audition ready. Stay tuned, some details are coming soon. Our next episode drops June 29th at 6 p.m., where we'll talk about voiceover reels with a very special guest. New episodes release every month on the last Sunday, so mark your calendar and I'll see you then.